Have you been struggling to unleash your true potential and you're maybe just going through the motions? Maybe your life has plateaued. Well, that's going to change. I'd like to welcome Erik Wahl, author of UNTHINK, Rediscover Your Creative Genius. He's going to tell us how we can use creativity to find meaning and success in life. Welcome to Primetime.
Thank you very much.
I think everybody needs this, right?
I would agree. I'm having a good time sharing the message, and it's fun to be able to kind of release it now in printed format.
And the thing that's true about everybody, it doesn't matter where we are in life, you've got to keep pushing yourself, keep growing. That's why we're here, right?
Living out on the skinny branches, yeah. I call it.
I like that. I sometimes fall on those branches. I get it banged up and I get back up.
That's okay. That's what they're there for.
Okay, so tell us about your book.
This is my blueprint. It's titled UNTHINK. Basically rediscovering your creative genius, but it's meant, I've been performing out on the corporate lecture circuit for the last 10 years, inspiring organizations and professionals to achieve superior levels of performance. We put it into printed format, and this is kind of the blueprint, the next step to actually points A to B, how to unlock and unleash.
So people paid you big money to get their corporations, to get their employees to thrive, right? Because if they're thriving, they're going to make money. Everybody's going to make more money. So you took that message so we can all thrive. And in this book, we read it and gain valuable tips. And what are some of those tips?
It's well, I've outlined a bunch of them in different chapters, kind of go-tos. I've put them in an acronym, Picasso, where each letter represents kind of an action item. One would be A, or to accelerate, or to...
What's P? That's the first thing I want to go with.
P is to be provocative. So I am...
Well, I like that.
I'm a graffiti artist, so that by itself is provocative. Talking to corporations, they're having a graffiti artist open their meeting.
I read your background, I'm like, what? This graffiti artist goes talk to corporations. Tell us how that works.
Well, I come in and I talk about creativity, but rather than just talking about it, I'm showing them how an artist thinks. What did Picasso and Michelangelo do to create breakthrough levels of art, and what do the visionaries of today also use? Okay,
so P is being provocative. A
is accelerate. So accelerate would be to create rapidly. So don't sit on it and ruminate and think about it and curate it, but rather keep creating. Create another thing. Get out on those skinny branches and keep trying, because a lot of what we do is we focus on how we missed or what is the risk involved.
People will focus on their failures and just, instead of saying, well, keep trying, get back in the saddle and go a different direction, but just keep going.
Learn to fail quickly, and don't be labeled or disabled by those failures.
Right, because fear can cripple you.
Fear is the crippler. In fact, probably more than anything else in our personal lives and in corporate America, fear kills performance.
Fear of success, fear of failure.
It comes in a lot of different formats.
Okay, what are the rest?
I'm going to save it so that people can watch it or read it in the book. But those are the two that I'd like to be audiences to be most excited about, because they're the most edgy. They're the ones that kind of start the ball rolling towards the end game of actually unlocking creativity.
So when did you release the book, Erik?
It has not been released yet. So I'm like, if you can imagine when you were a little girl, for me being a little boy, before Christmas morning, like you're counting down those minutes. It's being released on June 4th. Random House is releasing it worldwide on June 4th, and so I'm kind of watching the clock, waiting for June 4th to come. So I think it's next Tuesday.
We're getting a preview.
I'm really excited.
And kind of explain to us how being creative, do you have people do art? I mean, to open up the mind and create different neuron pathways, is that the deal?
Well, for me, it was art. Art is my vehicle, or how I channel it. That's how I do it on stage as well. So I'm performing live in front of audiences. So I'll create a painting in 3 minutes, or I'll create a large portrait of an icon.
We need to have you come back and do that for us.
Well, just create something.
Maybe you could graffiti on our monitor.
There you go.
On my face.
Gotta have its limits. But what I do is, in that performance, I'm trying to hook the audience in. So I'll crank music, lights, video, create a painting in 3 minutes, and then I have the audience on the edge of their seat. And then I have them basically able to listen to the rest of my ideas that I'm talking about breakthrough performance. So I don't want to use graphs and pie charts, and I want to basically show them.
And that also targets one part of the brain. You're opening up you're opening up the floodgates, so all the different parts of the brain are working.
Well, and I'm
together.
looking to create an emotional experience, and there's a logical experience to looking at creativity and what is the ROI and what is, how is this going to increase margins? But I'm interested in tapping that emotional side. Like, how do we improve leadership? How do we build emotional connections to drive future discretionary effort?
That is so important. How to coach instead of
coach.
dictators and
how to coach.
Places, workplaces.
And so this book builds, UNTHINK builds that gap between just the regular consumer, the employee, as well as the executive C-suite leadership role.
I still want to get you back and do some graffiti in between breaks, and we could go toss to you. Will you come back and do that?
I will indeed. It's a deal.
So where can we get this book? I know it's not going to be released till June.
It's June 4th. It's a great answer. Everywhere books are sold. You want to buy it online, Amazon. You want to go down to the Barnes and Noble. Anywhere you'd buy books, this will be available.
Well, we're so honored to have you on our show before the debut.
It was fun and an honor to get to share, especially here in my hometown. I want to break that cliche of an artist who's never known or loved in his hometown. This is my hometown. I spend most of my time out on the road, but I would love to kind of break that cliche and be known and appreciated in my hometown as an artist.
You are. What's your message for our viewers?
Is to think differently, to unthink a lot of those safe, predictable patterns of thought, even our standardized educational system.
I hate that.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
That's a whole other topic, man. Don't get me started.
Well, and I addressed that in here. That's where I started. I started as a good student, and then a suit and inside boxes. I didn't even start painting until I was 30 years old. Wow. So it was at that point that I unlocked my potential, and that is what this book is. I came from that spot, so that's why I've got a bit of a place to build.
We need to be teaching our children this.
Let's get it out to them.
Let's get it out there. Hope this is a good start.
It is a good start.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.